Welcome back to our series on the economic analysis of agency law. I'm Professor Seth C. Oranburg, and in this episode 9, we're tackling one of the thorniest issues in agency relationships: competing interests. Principals delegate authority to agents, hoping their goals will align. But sometimes, conflicting incentives create friction. Whether it's between a shareholder and a CEO, a mayor and a bee watcher, or even one agent and another, these clashes can disrupt even the best designed systems. Let's check back in with Hotch Hotch. There, the mayor's been learning a lot about delegation. After introducing fiduciary duties, aligning incentives through bonding, and encouraging entrepreneurial behavior, things seemed to be on the upswing. But then the conflict started. The entrepreneurial watcher, Fox and Sox, had approached the mayor with another ambitious idea. "Mayor, I've been studying the bee, and I think we can triple honey production by expanding the hive and bringing in more bees," Fox and Sox said. "We'll need resources to make it happen, but the payoff will be enormous." Before the mayor could respond, another, more cautious watcher, Horton, raised a hand. "I disagree," Horton said. "The current hive is sustainable, but if we expand too quickly, we risk burning out the bees and depleting our resources. Slow and steady wins this race." The mayor was stuck. On the one hand, Fox and Sox represented the bold, entrepreneurial spirit the mayor wanted to encourage. On the other hand, Horton's caution was grounded in long-term thinking. The two watchers had competing interests, and the mayor had to decide whose vision to support. This is a classic example of what economists call competing interests. In agency relationships, principals and agents don't always see eye to eye, and agents may conflict with each other. Agents have their own priorities, which are shaped by their roles, their personalities, or the particular incentives they face. When multiple agents are involved, their interests can clash in ways that make the principal's job harder. Let's break this down. First, we have principal-agent conflict. Principal-agent conflict is where the agent's goals diverge from the principal's. In Hotch Hotch, Fox and Sox was focused on innovation and growth. But the mayor's goal was to ensure the hive's stability and long-term productivity. This misalignment is not a theoretical problem, and it's not just in fairy tales. This is a real-world challenge that plays out in boardrooms, offices, and industries every day. Second, we have agent-agent conflict. That's where two or more agents have competing goals. In our story, Horton and Fox and Sox were at odds, each believing their approach was the best for the town, and probably the best for themselves. This kind of conflict can lead to inefficiencies, as agents spend more time jockeying for influence than working towards shared goals. So how do principals manage these conflicts? One approach is to create clear communication channels. In Hotch Hotch, the mayor called a meeting to hear both Fox and Sox and Horton's perspective. By fostering an open dialogue, the mayor was able to gather input, clarify priorities, and make an informed decision. Communication doesn't eliminate conflict, but it helps principals understand the underlying issues and find common ground. Another strategy is to align incentives. During the meeting, the mayor realized that Fox and Sox and Horton weren't entirely wrong. Each had valid concerns. To balance their interests, the mayor offered a compromise: a modest hive expansion with safeguards to protect the bees' well-being. This solution tied rewards to both short-term productivity and long-term sustainability, ensuring that both watchers had a stake in the outcome. Principals can also delegate conflict resolution. In Hotch Hotch, the mayor appoints a mediator, Yertle the turtle, and Yertle will oversee the hive's expansion. Yertle's role was to manage day-to-day decisions, resolve disputes, and report back to the mayor. This approach allowed the mayor to focus on broader priorities while ensuring that the watchers' competing interests didn't derail the project. Let's bring this back to the real world. In corporate governance, principal-agent conflict often arises when executives prioritize their own compensation or pet projects over shareholder value. Meanwhile, agent-agent conflict can occur within organizations as departments compete for resources or push conflicting agendas. These dynamics don't just create inefficiencies, they can erode trust and hinder collaboration. One famous example is the clash between Steve Jobs and John Sculley at Apple in the 1980s. Jobs, the visionary entrepreneur, wanted to prioritize bold innovation, while Sculley, the pragmatic CEO, focused on financial stability and operational efficiency. Their conflicting visions ultimately led to Jobs being ousted from the company, a decision that had both immediate and long-term consequences for Apple. The story illustrates how competing interests can shape the trajectory of an organization, for better or for worse. Back in Hotch Hotch, the mayor's compromise paid off. The hive expansion was successful, and honey production increased without harming the bees. Fox and Sox and Horton, though still wary of each other, found a way to collaborate under Yertle's gentle guidance. The Watchers learned that while their goals might not always align perfectly, they could work together to achieve outcomes that benefit the entire town. So what's the takeaway? Competing interests are an inevitable part of agency relationships. Whether it's principals and agents or agents with each other, these conflicts reflect the complexity of human behavior and organizational dynamics. The key to managing them lies in communication, alignment, and delegation. By addressing conflicts thoughtfully, principals can reduce inefficiencies, foster collaboration, and create systems that balance innovation with stability. In our next and final episode, we will bring it all together. We're going to explore how trust, incentives, and collaboration shape the bigger picture of agency law through the lens of economics. We'll revisit the major themes of this series, and we'll see how Hotch Hotch evolved after all its ups and downs. Once again, thank you for joining me on this episode. I'm Professor Seth C. Oranburg, and I look forward to completing this journey with you in episode 10.